And welcome to Ultimate Soccer. Nice to see you. Glad you're here. What we're going to be talking on this one is the summer tour news to the USA, both the Man United and the Chelsea game. We're going to let you know about that. We're going to talk the table. We're going to talk the amazing streak that Wrexham is still on, and it's an amazing record in the making. We're going to talk a bit about Paul Mullin as well. We've got some Paul Mullin news. You want to hear that. We're going to talk about the next three games, Chesterfield being the first one. And I'll tell you what, Chesterfield, no wins in the last 5, 2 losses, 3 draws. This is a great time to take on Chesterfield. I tell you, it is the time to take them on. And they are a decent team. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. But this is a good time to take them on. They're a wounded animal. And we have got to get 3 points. And then we're going to talk about, remember one thing, April 10th coming soon, Notts County at the Racecourse Ground. A place I've been. And we got some nice pictures of the Kop. For people that don't know too much about the Racecourse Ground, the Kop got ripped down a little while ago. Got a couple of pictures there, what is now and what might be. Just a teaser, that's coming a little bit later too. And then next show, just so you know, we're going to be talking English Premier League and the Championship, because things are hotting up at the top of the table and in relegation, and also in the promotion battle in the Championship. Let's get into this. Talking about the summer tour, you can see it right there. Manchester United going to go into San Diego, and that's in California. And you've got to play Chelsea in Chapel Hill, that's in Carolina. So two sides of the country, east and west, but should they be booked in and coming off, those are two cracking games. And you know what? It's really because, you know, Rob and Ryan, North Americans, they've got to have an instant feed with the owners of those two clubs, don't you think? Because, I mean, let's face it, Rob and Ryan are football club owners. And so are the Glazers, yeah? And so is Mr. Bowley. So it's all North Americans in one place, having a cup of coffee, organising games, making money, making the fans happy. It's a no-brainer. Let's look at the table right now. And looking at the table, 2 points behind Notts County, 2 games in hand. It was 1 game in hand, remember? Now it's 2 games in hand. And things are looking good for Wrexham, I've got to say. I was a little bit nervous for a couple of weeks, and I bet you were too. But recently we've had a shot in the arm and a little bit of luck. And Notts County, I don't wish any ill will on Notts County. Of course I don't. But I don't wish them any good luck. But recently Dagenham and Redditch, last game round, did us a massive favour. And Ruben Rodriguez might regret getting the red card for Notts County, because 21 minutes in, he's gone, red card. And the game finishes 2-1 to Dagenham and Redditch, like you know. But it's a massive, massive break, because what was 1 game in hand is now 2. 1 game in hand, 2 points behind, it's a little nervy. 2 points behind, 2 games in hand. That's pretty decent. And remember, this amazing record that Wrexham's on, if you didn't know, I mean, Wrexham fans, you're going to know this, but if you're tuning in and you're learning about Wrexham as we go, the last 21 games in the league, Wrexham has won 17, drawn 1, lost none. And you've got to keep it that way. It's got to stay that way. The rest of the season, 13 games to glory, 13 games to promotion, 13 games to League Two. We've got to keep going on this. No more anything. It's got to be win, win, win. We can draw for sure, but Wrexham's got to keep winning these games. It's massive to keep winning these games. And the position that they put him in, they've worked so hard to get there. And when you think about the extra competitions that Wrexham's played in this year as well, that puts a massive load on the squad. But when you look back over the last couple of years, the trades coming in, the coach coming in, the way the team has formed itself, the skill sets, it's pretty high. The skill sets on the National League team of Wrexham is absolutely up there. Hence, when Sheffield United came to town, they didn't have it their way 3-3. And when Wrexham went to Sheffield, hey, you know what? Yeah, it might have finished 3-1, but it wasn't a 3-1 game. And Wrexham proved how good they are. 3 leagues lower, I tell you what, you couldn't see much of a difference. And Sheffield have had a few tough games recently. Gaza, talk to you. But they're still going through. But hey, I tell you what, 2 quality teams, Sheffield in their division championship and Wrexham, definitely a quality team in the National League. I got to say, it looks like promotion to me. But let's not jinx it. It's going to be game by game. It's like when I talked to Tommy Wheeldon Jr. over here in Canada in the Canadian Premier League. I sit by Tommy and I talk to the coach. He's the coach of the club. And it's a case of it's game by game. I go deep with Tommy about the season and the players and the squad, the tactics, etc. And just like with Wrexham, it's game by game. It really is. Now, it's 13 games to go. There's 7 games at home. There's 6 games away. And don't forget, Notts County, April 10th at the Racecourse Ground. It's going to be an absolute riot, barn-burning game, and a game that you wouldn't want to miss. I want to talk about Paul Mullin and goal scoring. Just one little sipper. Paul actually looks like he could well become, or maybe stay, because right now Paul is the top scorer in the FA Cup, let alone the Nations League, or the National League, sorry. But in the FA Cup, Paul is still the top scorer. I hope and I pray that at the end of the FA Cup this year that he is the top scorer. Wouldn't that be a blast, eh? A National League top scorer, and he's the FA Cup top scorer. I think, you know, when you look at the way he plays and look at the way he finishes, he's absolute class. We got Mullin, Super Paul Mullin. I don't think you really understand. He plays in red and white. He's dynamite. We got Super Paul Mullin. I won't say the F-bomb, but the F-bomb was in there hidden. You know what I'm saying? But I've got to say, it's a great day. It is a great day. Just checking where we are. Second in the table. 2 points behind. 2 games in hand. Chesterfield's coming up next. And this is the time to take Chesterfield on. Remember, 2 losses, 3 draws in the last 5. This is definitely the time to take them on. Let's take a quick look at the final 13 games. So looking at the last 13 games, I can tell you this. Notts County has a tougher run-in than Wrexham. I've looked at the games. Wrexham's got 13. Notts County's got 11 games to go. But when I look at Notts County, they got tougher games. And here's Wrexham's breakdown. In the last 13 games, 7 of the games are against teams in the bottom half of the table. 6 are in the top half. Toughest game will be against Notts County, and that's obviously coming off at the Racecourse Ground. But literally looking at those final 13 games, I got to say it's looking good. I'm not going to jinx anything, but it's looking good to get to where Wrexham need to get to. I know you know what I'm saying. I'm using that P word, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx anything. And the point of the matter is, though, I mean, if Wrexham don't finish first, I'm pretty damn sure they're going to claim the playoff final anyway. So I want to see Wrexham finish first like anybody else in Wrexham. Like I say, I used to live not too far away from it. And it's not alien to me, that's for sure. But like anybody in Wrexham, or anybody connected to the club, or anybody around it, or anybody hoping worldwide for it, I do want to see them go and get promotion. And I'm not against Notts County. I've got nothing against that historical team, you know, but I've got to say, I'm going to ring off a couple of numbers. Chesterfield, next game, they're 5th. Like I say, they haven't won in 5, 2 losses, 3 draws in the last 5. They're 5th in the table. They're a good team. They could pull a shocker. We've got to be careful. So top A game, top finishing, a top display, and loads of noise. And I think it's possibly a good 3-pointers. Then there's 2 on the road. We're going to touch them pretty soon. Maidenhead, who are in 14th. Dagenham and Redditch in 10th. So the next 3 games, for me, really are the make and the break of this season for Wrexham when you're talking about taking on Notts County. Three big games here could be all the difference that Wrexham need. And building, then after that, you got Southampton and Bromley. Like that's 6, Southend 6th now, Bromley 9th now. But then after that, you bounce back with 3 games that are really manageable. You got Oldham in 15th, Halifax in 17th, and York in 18th. So bit of a seesaw, bit of a yo-yo, but there's definitely games where Wrexham's going to maximise points. And when you look at the run, they're on 21 games, 17 wins, 4 draws, no losses. It's been a magnificent run. Forget about the Sheffield loss. That's the FA Cup. But where the league is concerned, it's looking damn good. Now, let's take a look at these next 3 games coming up in a little bit more fine detail. So, big game today, Chesterfield coming up. This is the game that is very, very, very important. 2 points behind, right? You know that. If we can get a win here, then it's a point ahead with the game in hand. That's where we need to be, and they need to capitalise on that. Remember, you got Maidenhead, Dagenham and Redditch coming next. Now, Dagenham and Redditch, remember, just took out Notts County with a red card in their hands. So If we keep it clean, we should be good, but this first game against Chesterfield is paramount over the next 3 games to getting on top of the table and then staying there. And once Wrexham sits on top and capitalises on those games and stays on top, their confidence will grow within the squad. And Notts County will dwindle slightly because they've been on top so long, they haven't expected to drop that game against Dagenham and Redditch, have they now? They thought they were going to still be there. They were looking for Wrexham to drop something. Woe betide, we drop a point here. It's got to be 3 points against Chesterfield, absolutely for Wrexham. But just staying with that, Wrexham get on top, they got to stay on top, and they got to keep going. And the likes of the games that we've seen in the last 21, whether you're in the crowd or on TV or whatever you're watching, but I tell you what, it's damn good entertainment. It's a damn good team. Another guy who, I mean, you could sing the praise of all the team players and all the squad players that come in and do their parts because it's a squad really contributing in every angle. One of the guys that I really think that, let's put it this way, at the end of the season, I think people are going to have to contract our guys on Wrexham to a little bit more dinero because even guys like Aaron Hayden, 11 goals on the season. 11 goals on the season. Just go figure that for a minute. I mean, the guy's massive. The whole team is full of literal players. The coach who came in has done an amazing job. The players that have been in, even Ollie Palmer coming in, great signing. You know, it's been a total success from start to finish. To dream big for Wrexham is really a reality. You gotta dream big because there's no end to where this team can finish. I mean, with the backing that Wrexham has, I tell you, there's no end to the possibilities to where this club could go. It really is no end. Next 2 games coming up, you've got Maidenhead and Dagenham and Redditch. And then don't forget, you cannot not have this on your calendar. This has definitely got to be on your calendar. But Notts County, April 10th at the Racecourse Ground. This is billing to a fantastic season. Like last season was a tight race, and it was a sad end to what could have been in the first big launch. But this second launch is like a tidal wave. It's the Wrexham tidal wave that nobody can stop. They keep going and going and going. The fan support is amazing. It's the best story in football, and there's nobody outside Racecourse Ground and Wrexham that has a better or more positive story that you can talk about in the world of football. Worldwide, nobody can cap it. Remember, dream big. Dream big. But next up, it's that Chesterfield game. And after that, Maidenhead, Dagenham and Redditch. I'll tell you what, get ready for it, Wrexham fans, because I am, and I'm going to be watching every second. Go Wrexham, go. Cheers.